Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful evening. Welcome to Casa Dominica Members Club. And tonight I want to speak to you about what is the different cigar sizes that you get. So if you are a new aficionado, like I was not too long ago, it would be nice to know what are the different cigar sizes. And the sizes are more or less related to the duration of the smoke, but in my opinion, it also affects the flavor, the mouthfeel of the smoke itself, and the feel of the cigar in your hand. Well, I'm having a puff while I'm doing it, and as you can see, when I can, at my special times, like to have a cigar in my hand after a long day or after a long week, and it is my form of relaxation, and it is something that myself and my friends, fellow aficionados, we love to do, especially winding down on a weekend. And it is just something that compares to no other. I've done many mindfulness, relaxation type of things uh, over the years, but one thing that has always grounded me is sitting with a very nice, good cigar. Now, I'm going to start from the biggest to the smallest, and then I'm not dealing with shapes at all tonight, but I'm going to deal with sizes. And when I introduce a cigar, some of them I'm going to discuss in detail about that specific brand, maybe, or why some are sized very close to one another, but then they are termed differently in terms of their sizes. So let's start. Well, these are only the cigars that I have currently left. I have boxes of these left. Um, I don't actually deal with cigars like specialty sizes or specialty shapes that I don't get a lot of orders in for. So, for example, you do get your Pyramida cigars, which is a very unique shape. You do have your Culebra type of cigars, which is your thin cigars that is like woven in. It looks almost like a braid, you see, but it's a specialty cigar. I don't get a lot of orders for it. I don't smoke a lot of it myself. I mostly like the normal shape cigar, and I stock mostly these. So I have many other types, but these different brands, but these are just the ones that I took out for the purpose of an example. Now, what you see over here, this is called, the shape of the cigar is what is called a Churchill. Quite long in length, but it's not necessarily the biggest cigar that you can get. You do get very, very big cigars, but though, like I mentioned earlier, I don't get a lot of orders for those, and I tend to stock what I sell, or I tend to stock what sells easily. Now, this specific one I got in recently, and I was using it for my Valentine's Day special. It's quite a nice packaging, don't you think? I'm coming now up with the idea to use my head as a size comparison for the cigar, but I was told that my head and my face is a little bigger than most people. Okay, so this is a Churchill cigar. I'm not going to take it out of the packaging because these are current orders and these cigars are flying. These cigars are running hot. As soon as I get them in, it sells. So if I'm going to open it, then I'm going to break the seal. Okay, so this is a Bearing Casino cigar. It was part of my Valentine's Day special. And this is a couple that I have left. And it's a very, very mild cigar. And I myself don't smoke much of it because if I was going to smoke one, I like my more full-bodied, medium-bodied strength cigars. And this is quite light. It's perfect for a beginner, very creamy, very nice. Um, but not my preference as a sort of seasoned cigar smoker, but I will definitely recommend it for a newbie. And this tube has got good humidification, so even if you do not have a humidor yet, you can actually keep it, for example, in a nice place in one of your kitchen cupboards, for example, which is not too hot. Don't put it in your sock drawer. It can get very hot over there and humid. But yeah, this is a Churchill shape, and this is the name of the brand is a Bearing Casino. Okay, the next one that I'm going to do The shape is what we call a Toro. And if you are quite familiar with a Toro cigar, the cigar that is very well known in this shape is the Drew Estate factory smoke cigars. Nice smoke, uh, decent length, okay, and more or less of a decent, nice ring gauge as well. Now, this specific one, okay, I'm going to take it out of the wrapping because I am planning to smoke it. However, the reason why it's still here, why I still haven't smoked, is because the cigar was, I assumed it was rolled just under 2 years ago, maybe a bit more than a year, and it has not aged properly yet. It is still what we call um, in the bitter phase, or yeah, there's another phase that people use for it, and it's not. It won't be too pleasant if I were to smoke it yet. I'm going to let it lay in my humidor for at least another eight months, but I am planning to smoke it. But for now, I'm going to take it out of the wrapping just so that you can see. As I mentioned, this is a Mosi Owatunya cigar. And this cigar is the first range of Zimbabwean puro cigars released after many years now. As I mentioned in one of my other videos, the Zimbabwean tobacco industry was a thriving industry a few years back and it's picking up again. And this is the family that has released this specific range of cigars, Mosi Owatunya. And I believe this cigar was received at one of the trade shows, and I will be able to smoke it uh, within maybe before the end of the year. Let's see. Okay, so the reason why I say the cigar is not ready to smoke yet, the humidity is not 100% right as I received it. So now I will have to dry box it, which means I will put it in a normal dry cigar cedar box to get the to dry out a little bit. And there's no humidification device within that box except for the natural wood. And then I would put this in there for about 5 months and then watch the humidity for the another 3 to 5 months after that. Okay. Name of the stick is Mosi Owatunya. It is a Zimbabwean puro cigar. I'm looking forward to smoke it and I'll give you an update definitely as soon as I do. Now the next one, okay, so we've dealt with the Churchill. That is a Toro shape. Um, Actually, the one I'm smoking now is called a Corona shape. Well, when I started to smoke it, this was the size. Okay, and this is a Costa Corona, one of my current favorites. If I'm going to plan to have a smoke under an hour, decent, creamy, medium bodied, but it packs a punch of flavor and it's very cost effective. I love it. These are a couple that I've actually put aside for myself to smoke, but it's also flying off the shelves like nothing. I'm selling them by the box, quite cost effective. The name of it, as I mentioned, it's Costa Cigars. It's a Nicaraguan cigar. And the size, as I mentioned, it's called a Corona. So the name of the cigar itself is actually called a Costa Corona. Okay. And yeah, that's that one. So now we have the Churchill cigar. So as I mentioned, just to recap, we have a Churchill cigar. We have a Toro cigar. And we have a Corona. Okay, so when you do go into the cigar shop, you're gonna look like somebody that knows a little bit. And yeah, we're gonna talk about the wrappers on another one. Okay, so the next one happened to be one of my personal favorite shapes, and I'm gonna show you two cigars in that shape. Mm, I love this flavor. This flavor is so nice, and I haven't even started the retrohaling yet. And tonight I'm pairing it with some bourbon and just a little nightcap with this cigar, perfect pairing, and to end off this evening. So the next one of my favorites, and this is probably if you're going to be a starters aficionado, what you're going to be looking for in your shop, and you're going to recognize it. Mm. Okay, I was a little bit late on the red royalty. Okay, so this shape is what we call a petite corona. So previously, I've showed you the corona shape, and this is a petite corona. Now, this one is also one of my personal collection, the Upman. Okay, so this is a Upman cigars. I have a couple for myself. I'm not selling it. This is for my consumption. It's a beautiful, pure Cuban cigar, and I'm enjoying them so much that I want to buy more. Okay, so I'm not selling it as much because the Cuban market has, for the last couple of months, has gone down a lot. The supply uh, is throttled. I'm not saying there is a limited supply, but somehow, some way, supply for Cuban cigars is throttled, and especially for this shape cigar, and the one that you will recognize definitely now. You go into your cigar shop, you see the shop assistants in the cigar shop. Now you have a local tobacconist here in Cape Town, which is normally JJ Kale, or you'll have the tobacconist, or you'll have Cock and Bull, and a couple of others, and these are normally the ones that's located in your shopping mall. So now you're on your way to have a braai for the evening, or you just want to have something to chill with after a long night. And well, you can always have ordered from me the week before, but okay, you want one now, and you want to walk into a shop now. If you are a new cigar smoker, I will not advise you to be like many others and smoke a cigar, nub it, and the next week you smoke again and nub it and you smoke it again. Nope. Okay, the flavor of the cigar is going to be awful. Okay, it's going to be strong, it's going to be putrid, it's going to be sour. Rather finish your cigar on the same day. And if you know you are somebody that's not going to be able to finish a cigar of this size, of the Toro size in one day, rather get yourself a medium-sized cigar that you can enjoy nicely. Okay, now, like I mentioned, this is called a Petite Corona. Now, I keep telling you, but I'm not picking up the cigar. The one that I want to show you, that is the most popular one that you will probably recognize, is the Romeo Julieta #2. Okay, this is my first love of Cubans. So when I started with Cuban cigars, way back then, now remember, I was one of those guys, as I mentioned previously, that I smoked any type of cigar that was in the garage. Like I used to like the flavored cigar, the cherry cigar, or a vanilla flavored cigar, and I didn't know what proper hand-rolled cigars was. And when I was introduced to proper hand-rolled cigars, this is the cigars that I was introduced to, Romeo Julieta cigars, and this was my personal favorite. Now, many years ago, I paid for one Romeo Julieta cigar. I paid around about between 150 Rand and 200 Rand for one of these cigars at my local tobacconist. Now, you'll probably pay about 350 Rand. It's a bit smaller than uh, many of your other bigger cigars, but it packs flavor. This is a beautiful cigar. It packs flavor. Now, this cigar is also sealed, and but basically the size is similar to the Upman, Petite Corona, and within the tube itself, it's wrapped uh, in a cedar stick, not a cedar stick actually. It's more of a small cedar covering, so you can strip the cedar into your little shapes. I don't have one here now. Nope. And then you can light it with the cedar. Uh, Beautiful cigar, creamy, rich. It is not full bodied, but it's medium bodied. Some old aficionados might say it is a light cigar. For me, even though this is one of the first cigars that I smoked, I still love it, and I enjoy it, and I cherish it. Romeo Julieta #2. Also, there was a struggle with the supply. I happened to get my own supply in, so I was able to provide my customers, and I still am. Okay, so currently at normal retail with Casa Dominica, it's going for 300 Rand. But if you go to your local tobacconist, you will probably pay about 360 Rand on average for this one. Okay, and like I mentioned, the shape is a Petite Corona. Now, one of my other favorites, and one of the other well-known ones, let me just give this a pop. a puff quickly. Mm. One way you can see it's a good cigar is if it stays lit, you put it down, um, and the smoke output is still beautiful. Now, when I got this box new a few months back, and I aged my cigar, and now this thing is just getting better and better. And like I said, the customers are buying it by the box, and I'm trying to hold some for me because I don't know how long I'm still going to be able to get from the plantation. Oh, the creaminess is coming through on the red roll. Oh, nice. I love it. Now, in terms of popularity, and also one of my favorites, we all know the Cohiba Robusto. Okay. And this was my smoke for most of the summer. And it is a beautiful smoke. It is a signature Cuban taste. And Cohiba has come a long way with the different varieties. And most recently, they have the whole Bahika series. This is still my go-to. And it is just a beautiful smoke, okay? And this is for me the perfect mix between length and width, or as they say, ring size, okay? Um, I think this is about 5.5 or 6. No, it's not 6 yet. 6 is quite wide. This is about 5.5, and the length I'm not sure. But it is a decent ring size cigar. I love the cigar. Um, I had one over the weekend. Um, I'm also fully stocked with these, but it's only for club members. I'm not selling this, but if you do need some, I can source for you, but it's not part of my normal catalog. Okay, Cohiba, Robusto, and these ones. If you're normal at your normal tobacconist, you will probably pay about just under 1,800 rand, 1,700 rand per cigar. Okay, I just want to mention, just because a cigar is priced at a certain price point does not always necessarily mean that that cigar is going to smoke better than the next one. Like, for example, another one which is a similar size than this, and I don't have stock of it. It's also a Cuban, but it's my all-time favorite Cuban, and I don't have it with me. That is a Kido Say #3. Okay, slightly smaller than this, but that one price point under 500 rand. But it is an amazing smoke, and I will choose it over this one anytime. Both are from the same company, Habanos SA, Cuban company, but that is my personal choice. Okay, it is just a combination of flavor, strength, everything that's good in one cigar. I don't have one here. You will see it on my Instagram page though. But otherwise, some people are hardcore Cohiba fans. I do appreciate the Cohiba, but it's not always. And I'm going to come to my last two cigars. And before I do, let me just take another puff. Mm. You know what many people do? They love the end of the cigar. So you have the first third, you have the second third, and for me, most of the flavor comes in the second third. But it's a very, very good cigar. You will get the best flavor right at the end. And that's why some people choose to use what they call a nub, which is a little uh, stick or something that they put on the inside of the cigar. Some people use a toothpick. I have my own little nub. This is actually a type in which I'm using as a nub, which means that if you have it in your hand and the ash line happens to be here, you're not going to burn your fingers. You're still going to get a couple of decent puffs out of it. Okay? And I have a feeling this one is going to be one of them. Mm, beautiful. Now, this one I want to show you now is not one of the most popular ones, but I do stock them from special order. And this is what is called a Panatella. It is thin and long, but it's also considered a short smoke cigar. This is the last series that I have of the Don Thomas Panatellas. This is a vintage cigar. And this is on special order, of which I only have one box left. And I'm not 100% sure if I want to let it go anymore because I've looked all over the internet. I've looked at all the shops all over the world. I have not found the specific one ever again. If you can even see this is a vintage Don Thomas band. I have not seen it on any new Don Thomas cigars or even cigar shops that stock vintage cigars. I have not seen this one. Okay. It's called a Panatella, short smoke, but bursting with flavor. Okay. And my very, very last one, and I think it's worth a mention because, all of us, we start somewhere. Don't laugh now, eh? No, it's not a cigarette. It's a cigarillo. Cigarillo. This is the smallest shape of a hand-rolled cigar that you can get. So if you have 15 minutes to spare, this is what you can do. You get great flavors in cigarillos. Now, the specific one is a El Vigo Continente, which I've stored a box from. And I'm also not selling this. This is just for me and the guys, if we're up for having something very quick, like a tea time smoke or something. It is still packed with flavor. You might recognize this from the Western movies where you had Clint Eastwood sitting in the back of the horse and then it's like having it in his ear. And always is clutching between his teeth. And that was my Clint Eastwood impression. But I don't even know if Clint Eastwood at that time smoked cigars really. I have heard, however, that Clint Eastwood, even though he's most famous for his spaghetti westerns, apparently the man was allergic to horses. Who knew? Okay, so this is a cigarillo. So just to go from smallest to biggest again, cigarillo. Oh, you want the price point more or less for these cigars? Okay, for these specific brands, I will give you the price point, but it doesn't mean that's going to be the price for other branded cigar, or it even depends on the retailer. Okay, so this is a cigarillo. Cigarillos, if you were to buy them in singles and you're lucky, you'll be able to get one for 50 Rand. Okay, but I've seen some retailers selling them for even 100 Rand. It's ridiculous. Panatella, this is by special order. You don't get it anyway. I cannot give you a price on the Panatella, and I don't even think any other stockist of vintage cigars, this is priced per application, and many of these cigars goes on bid. Okay, so there isn't really, it can be anything from 200 to 2000 Rand. So I cannot give you a specific price on the Panatella cigar. As I mentioned earlier, Cohiba Robusto, this one on average retails between 1,500 Rand and 1,800 Rand per cigar. And then obviously the box will be about 11,000 Rand. Romeo Julieta, number 2, 360 Rand is your average price. Some guys might try to rip you off for 500 Rand. Sorry if using the word rip you, but yeah, if it's what they stock, it's what they stock. Currently with us, we have it for 300, under 300 Rand something. Okay. Also, my special order, there's a Petite Corona, slightly bigger size than the other one, but these ones you can also get for about 450 Rand. Okay. At the moment, Costa Coronas on special for the box. The box of Costa Corona. Sorry, I gave a little bit of a burp there. I don't know why. Maybe I started drinking. This Costa Corona box currently on special with me at 50% off. It's going for, I'm selling it by the box for 3,997 Rand per box of 25 cigars. Okay. So you can do the math over there. I think it works out to less than 200 Rand if I'm not mistaken. Per cigar. This was a gift, but if you were to buy them per box straight from Zimbabwe, you will probably also pay about 5,000 rand, between 5,000 and 8,000 rand per box. Okay. And then these ones I am selling as singles as well. And this one is on special at the moment for 400 rand. It's Churchill cigar. I had it in Valentine's gift on special, even a little bit cheaper than that in the set. And but the reset price, we're going now for 397 rand. Like I said, 400 rand. Any orders that you do over 500 rand of a combination of cigars, shipping is free within South Africa. Okay, this is basically what I have in my humidor in terms of sizes. The next video, I'm going to try to talk about shapes, and then I think I'm going to combine that video with shapes and colors. So you go into your local tobacconist, and then you said, I'm looking for a cigar. I don't have a lot of time in my hands. I only have about 2 hours. And can you hook me up with a robusto? There you go. Have a good evening, everyone. We chat soon.